Hey, this is That's a Thing, episode .38. I'm Kevin.
And I am Cody.
Yeah, we're waiting for Nolan. He'll show up, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it is, I don't know. See, Drew always says, like, the day of the recording is the day, but I don't like that.
No, this will be available to listen to on Friday the 13th.
Oh! I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It is Friday the 13th.
Fun fact, any month that starts on a Sunday has a Friday the 13th.
I didn't. So if you're a kid, if you're a group of teens or early 20-somethings, and don't have any premarital sex.
No.
Especially not at like a summer camp.
Don't smoke the drugs.
Don't do those at a summer camp, or in Manhattan, or in space.
Especially not in space.
No.
Or in your nightmares.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Well, I think I always felt like
That one wasn't
that's
technically
cheating.
Friday the 13th.
It's kind of like I guess in Friday the 13th, they're like when Jason attacks, I feel there's almost like a clear reasoning that sets him off. Like there's the teens don't know the rules, but there is a rule. Where I feel like with Freddy, you just kind of get screwed over because of your age. You don't have to be. There's no haha. I'm like Freddy's just gonna get you.
Yeah, he just kills indiscriminately.
Yeah,
he killed a D&D player.
Yeah, but and I get it's zany, but I don't like it in horror movies and stuff when you're having your villain and it just gets you. Like you just get got. Like you didn't have there should have been some chance to avoid the situation.
The ones, you want the killer to seem like he is unstoppable, but you don't want them to seem like they're, for lack of a better word, cheating.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it's the idea where, if you could sit in a room and point a gun at a door, then, or, wasn't there was a Friday the 13th where they just had 20 cops and they just shot Jason and then he just killed them.
Jason's dead.
Yeah.
I was about to call Jason's Dead the Final Nightmare. No, that's Freddy's Dead the Final Nightmare. Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Is that one.
But it's kind of to me that makes more if you're a teen in the wood and a big man with a knife is trying to get you, who has some degree of strong enough that your teen punches and kicks are not enough to take him.
Super zombie.
But 20 dudes with a gun shooting. But it's with Freddy, it's such an absurdity that it doesn't scare me, because I feel like if I am in a dream and Freddy shows up to kill me, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just going to be well, it's got to be something.
And those movies are over the top campy.
Yeah. I think it's just, I guess maybe it's because I've read and experienced more horror stuff, but at some point, things stop scaring me when it's impossible. It's just it's oh, here's 5,000 zombies. It's no, I'm not gonna get out of this. I can't think my way.
Here's evil murder god who has decided that you are its next victim, versus here's man with knife.
Here's Cujo is more terrifying. Here's a big angry Saint Bernard.
That's a few years back when we went to that double feature of Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My wife can't do horror movies, but she had fun with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
We had to leave the theater during Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because when you're watching that and you're this could actually happen.
Yeah, well, it's the idea of
not likely to happen, but it could happen.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen It Follows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it when there's just some kind of gamification of all right, here's how this thing works. It's the Gremlins thing where it's I think they said it in Gremlins too, where they talked about how when exactly is after midnight? Is it locally? Because everywhere it's
It's always midnight is the hour that starts the day.
But that's constantly happening.
It's always after midnight.
Man.
11:59 is the last minute of the day. Midnight's the first minute of the day.
Yo, can we talk more about Gremlins 2? Have you seen Gremlins 2?
Let's see. I think it's been years since I've watched either one of them, and I think they just start to blur into
Okay, so
one another.
Gremlins 2 takes place in like the TV studio, and it is just a cartoon.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
it is.
alright,
That's the one
yeah.
with like the spider gremlin, and where Gizmo puts on the Rambo mask.
Right, right.
Like it's
Not the one where they launch the lady out of a window using her lift chair.
Yeah, no. See, Gremlins 1 is like silly, but also sort of serious. Gremlins 2 is just
full blown
stupid. It's where they talk with Brain Gremlin, and he's having like an interview. I'm like, this is so dumb. I love every second of this. It's so dumb. I love it.
The Ash versus Evil Dead of the
Yeah,
franchise.
like exactly. Or Evil Dead 2 and 3 versus Evil Dead 1. Or Evil Dead
Army of Darkness.
Yeah, Army of Darkness is so dumb.
It's pretty bad.
It's so good. Like that's all though. Like when your horror movie starts off kind of like for real, and then second one you just give up and make it a comedy. That's hard to do. Like I want to. It's there's been done before, but man, that's hard to do. Hard to do.
Another good one, the Scream series, where they just broke down the slasher franchise and just
Scream
said,
1 is
here,
really
like,
good.
where you got the one character that's literally just like, here's the rules. If you follow these rules, you're going to make it to the end of this. If you break these rules, you're going to get killed by the Masked Man.
I really liked Scream 1. Like that was a movie I watched late when I was in like late 20s, because I'm an old man. So like in my late 20s, like it was, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why they're so like that movie went really, really well.
There's a reason Wes Craven was considered like the king back in the day, and
It was.
he
Those
just
movies
made a
were
lot of
good.
bad decisions along the way.
Well, that's how we get. That's how we get. All right. Speaking of horror, I was thinking about it on the way over here. See, we could be talking about like, oh, I got a transition in
about
there.
this nobody boomer character being added to Smash.
Yeah, yeah, Terry Bogard.
I almost wore my Fatal Fury hat today to make fun of Terry Bogard and all that, but then I thought no one can see it, and it's kind of too small for my head.
Well, the thing about it is, it's like,
Well, not to make fun of Terry, but to
make fun of the people.
the Smash community.
It's like there's that interview where Sakurai himself says like the idea for Smash came as he was playing like King of Fighters like 95 or something. It's like no, that's it. That's the DNA. Like you gotta respect. Yeah, that one. I think I read it before I came over. Drew posted. It was like a scrub quote of a guy saying like, "No, Gino from Mario RPG is the real character. Who even knows about this Terry Bogard guy?"
The only reason Heroes in this game is because people wanted Goku.
Yeah, I love it. All right, since Drew and I had a discussion, you get to say your thoughts on the most improbable video game announcement of all time, Deadly Premonition 2.
Deadly Premonition 2. That is up there with Dreamcast is back. That like
Inexplicable.
I don't own a Switch. I've wanted a Switch, and now I feel like I can officially say I need a Switch.
It's dead. It's of every game that's ever been, that is the least likely. And it's like, God, like I don't even know if I'm gonna. I say I'm gonna buy it, but I kind of really want to, like, am I gonna get an H York amiibo? Is it conceivable that I get like a York amiibo? Cause oh man, I'm doing it. God, does that mean?
I'm trying to think of a game that felt less likely to have a sequel. Maybe God Hand.
Now it's God Hand and Metal Wolf Chaos. I would put God Hand above it. I think God Hand is now the least likely. Like
Just because the company that made it was partially dissolved by Capcom.
And Metal Wolf had a hilarious like re-release. Like God Hand is now the holy grail. Before Deadly Premonition was the whole like no.
Or like insert, Well, I don't know. I guess Deadly Premonition was obscure, weird.
It was
horror
the weird,
game.
yeah. Like it'd be like
Well,
Illbleed.
I don't. Oh man, Illbleed.
That like if they showed
Okay,
like,
yes,
yo,
Illbleed
it's
is
Illbleed
exactly.
2.
If they announced Illbleed 2, that would have the same energy as Deadly Premonition 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Blue Stinger 2. Like it has to be one because Deadly Premonition is the forgotten Dreamcast game. That thing is just a Dreamcast game. In like looks, appearance, and story, it's a Dreamcast
It was
game.
a Dreamcast game that just got shot into the future.
Yeah. So it'd be like, yeah, it's like Blue Stinger or one of those like Dreamcast games, and now it's back. Like that's what it is. All right. So what do you think about keeping on this horror train before Friday the 13th? Because it kind of makes it works well. What do you think? Did you see the Resident Evil
Project
CG whatever trailer?
What's it called? Project.
It's like Re something.
Yeah, because it's got the R.
Yeah, it's the RE.
But yeah, like the 4-player co-op looking thing.
Yeah, the Outbreak.
Outbreak, yeah.
Outbreak, but on Resident Evil 2 remake engine.
I mean, I would rather see some like DLC for Resident Evil 2, but that's because I don't co-op.
Yeah, like
I don't really do online play. That's too social for me.
Also, well, like to me, it's the game I want them to show, and I guess this makes me like just craving on the whole thing. I want to see Remake 3. Like the game I want to see is Remake 3.
The game I want to see is remake of Code Veronica.
Like, fix it.
Yeah, like
now is the
Nemesis
time.
Is good. Like, no one's gonna hate on Resident Evil Nemesis, but I like Code Veronica. It had that sweet scene with Claire running
Dropping
down
the gun.
Yeah,
I think
that the movies recreated and made worse.
So, what they should do, they won't do it, but what they should do is you leave all of Steve Burnside's voice lines completely intact. Everyone else has good voice acting.
Updated.
He's like, I'm Steve. And you're like, yeah. But he's really Canadian. I don't know, like, if you've heard him lately, go check it out. Like, he goes like, I'm Suri Claire, a boot. Like, he has a thick Canadian accent. You're like, I didn't notice it, but he says a lot of Suris and he's like, I think he says a boot. Suri Clear, and you're like, oh man.
I'm gonna have to go over and see if they've got a copy of like Resident Evil Code Veronica on PS2.
Oh man, that game. But yeah, it's like, Capcom's killing it. It's killing it.
Yeah, Capcom, they're definitely coming. I mean, like, they're too big to have ever fully gone away. But yeah, after the fiascos that they faced during the 360 and PS3 era, they're earning trust back. They're getting there.
All right, so I was listening to the Giant Bomb cast, and they were talking about defense of Dead Space 3. So, when I postulate, hey Nolan, you're in here for the talk, and Godzilla 2000 is a great movie.
That's why I bought the shirt. I'm wearing a shirt that says Godzilla 2000.
All right. So you got here just right time. Giant Bomb was talking about Dead Space 3, and they're saying it wasn't so bad. I don't care. That's not this question, because technically this go up on Friday the 13th. Here's the real question: Dead Space 1 or Dead Space 2? Nolan, you are first.
Dead Space 2.
Cody. 1 or 2?
I want to say 1 just because the sheer number of outfits that they made for Dead Space 2 and them all being store exclusive, pre-order exclusive bonus things really grated my nerves. They all looked cool, but I was like,
wear the M7 armor from Mass Effect?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Dead Space 2 is a better game.
Yes.
In every gameplay, it's a better game.
Gameplay-wise, it's a lot funner.
I got it.
It is.
And Dead Space 1 has some bad stuff. It's Dead Space 1 though. If you tell me to play one, it's Dead Space 2. I think it's kind of the difference between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
Like Alien is a slower. Like Aliens is more fun. I'll watch Aliens any day of the week.
Game over,
But
man.
it's the question: Do you want it to be more actiony, or do you want that slower?
That's the horror.
The horror. Dead Space 1 is scarier.
Dead Space 1 is definitely scarier.
I've also.
It's Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I've told. Actually, it's more like the first part of Resident Evil 4 to the second part of Resident Evil 4.
No, you're right.
We're like, but I've told the story. I did tell the story, but I'll tell you guys because I'm just to reiterate. The sickest I've ever been when I was having hallucinations and I was bedridden for like 3 days was after I had played Dead Space 1. That is where I was. I was on the USS Ishimura, and it was a bad time. It was the worst time I've ever. Like it was literally like, oh man.
The real question was, were you Isaac?
No.
Or were you just some random?
Oh, I was me.
Laying in a bed. Waiting.
No, it was bad. It was.
In a room just hearing the.
Oh, it was bad. I was running, and it was. I don't know how long. I just remember, like, yep, that was it. It was horrifying. We also talked to Nolan, just to catch you up. Deadly Premonition 2. What are your thoughts on it?
I am so happy that I'm getting a sequel to that.
Yeah.
And I'm so surprised they did anything with that series.
Like
the impossible dream.
We said it's the impossible dream. We talked about, like, that's like a dream. It's the Dreamcast game that went to the future, and now it's coming back.
More importantly, well, you can get one on the Switch now.
Yeah.
But I've heard there's some problems that are getting patched.
Yeah, I mean, there's all that game felt like even new was like held together with shoestring. Like that game is like that's to me that Dreamcast quality of like this thing is gonna just die.
But the important part of this is I might get D4 episode 2.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
They're in that apartment and they're in Boston.
I know. Come on.
This feels like Swery gets to tie up all his loose ends.
Give me my cat girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Amanda.
Oh, yeah. Game's weird.
Just chasing her around the house.
Weird.
It's so weird. Your partner comes in, you make him a meal, and he just sits there like shoving hot dogs down his throat.
Oh, yeah.
For like 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's great.
Swery.
So
Love him.
Oh my god.
Monster Hunter. I've been playing that.
What was that?
Iceborne. Monster Hunter Iceborne is a near perfect expansion to Monster Hunter World. It's exactly what you want. I don't know if I would be playing it if I was not streaming it. Like it's and that's just because there's so much stuff out right now. Like I'm still working on Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Here's the problem. I'm waiting to finish that because I'm on the final fight. There's like 3 of those.
I am post time skip and it's still like, and I looked and see how many chapters I got. There's like 20. I don't play that game for like, I play like an hour or 2 every day. It just doesn't stop.
No, like
I haven't played Astral Chain yet. I haven't played, like, there's just so many matches.
It's Astral Chain, and then I'm going right to Iceborne after I pick it up after a bit.
Yeah, I
still have to get Deadly Premonition 1 and play some of the classic Super Nintendo games.
Oh yeah. You got Stunt Race FX.
No,
Or
Yoshi's
Super
Island.
Metroid, actually. Oh yeah, Yoshi's Island's good. I think Super Metroid is the
God.
best Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
I was excited to see that on there.
That game is so good it feels like modern. Like Mario World still feels good.
Well, I mean, like all the Game Boy game Metroid games were just trying to emulate Super to the best of their ability.
Fusion was so good.
Fusion was
That was
all
just
of
because it
it.
was trying to copy
Yeah.
Super. That's it.
Super Metroid is like there are stuff like that game feels way advanced. Like it when I'm saying like there's the part I'm just Super Metroid time. Since it's vaguely horror. There's scenes of that game can get kind of isolated and scary.
It's definitely got a dark atmosphere.
It
is not Mario.
No, it's a lonely game. When it's when you're in the tube and you do the super bomb and then you just go down. You walk through that tube several times, and then you drop your super bomb and the tube breaks and you go down. And it's like my brain explodes. Like, what is this game? The fact that you can wall jump from the get-go, but like you didn't know it until little things did it, or you were like me and you looked it up because you fell down there and you didn't know what to do. And they said like, yeah, you have a wall jump in this game. You've always had it.
You looked at your Nintendo Power and told you where all the secrets were.
Man, I love Nintendo Power.
I love Nintendo Power.
Like I have phantom memories of playing games because I read about like the Nintendo Power strategy guide for them. Like my memory, like Quest 64. I don't think I rented it once, but I read like the Nintendo Power, and I feel like in my brain I'm like, yeah, I'll play that game.
I only remember how to get the mask in Majora's Mask because I had the book when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah, I had like the actual strategy guide to that one, and then some jackass in the 7th grade ripped the cover off. I don't remember your name, but wherever you are, I have not forgotten that.
Dead to me.
Well, you just the. Oh, that's scummy.
I kind of feel bad that we moved days around because I wanted to ask the Smashers how they felt.
Oh, about Terrence, about the literal genesis of their game.
I'm in the pink today.
The literal genesis of their game,
Yeah.
and how many of them don't care.
Like, oh, this is awful. We need to have Gino or some other
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
I'm just gonna say, if I was Sakurai, I'd put Mallow in there.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be good.
Ooh,
That'd be good. Gino's already a costume. He doesn't need to be there. Go
yeah,
put
no,
Mallow.
oh yeah. Good job calling it too.
What? Oh, Sans Undertale?
Sounds Undertale.
I count that as him being in there.
That counts.
Specifically because, like, when you see, like, it is still a costume, but when you see the Mii fight as Sans, it looks like Sans.
It's not like a Mii fighter wearing a Sans hat. It's
Yeah,
just Sans.
it looks like
Yeah.
Sans. Whereas like Zero, the Zero one looks like a Mii fighter wearing a Zero costume. Like the Pokemon looks like a Mii fight, like the Goemon one. It's like, yeah, that's like Legend of Mystical Ninja.
The Blockles looks like Blockles.
Yeah, Blockles look. Yeah, but like if you show like that they're Mii fighter Tails, you're like, that's not Tails. If you show like the Sans, like that's Sans.
Yeah.
They put in a song. They did it. He's in there.
Toby Fox can't. No, so
He's doing town.
yeah, no. The people have been talking about this. So now the way to get your character in Smash, you have to go to Sakurai's house and beat him in Smash.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens.
All right, what do you think about my conspiracy theory that Game Freak is going to be publishing Deltarune?
Yes, I believe that.
Because Toby Fox said, I need to find a company in a studio to help me make this game, and he's already working with them on their game. To me, as like a trial, as a trial basis of like, how do we work together?
Right.
For a company that's trying to get away from Pokemon,
It does feel like they're trying to get
yeah,
away from.
Deltarune would be a perfect.
Oh, that'd be
buy.
that feels like they could do it, and it feels like they could also throw like 10 people on Deltarune just to handle like programming and like art asset generation and stuff. And I think that
Get this out 10 years earlier.
oh man, I think they could do it. Also, yeah, it does feel like Pokemon's so weird because I do feel like Game Freak doesn't want to make them anymore.
Yeah.
Like the passion, like, and I get like the people working on it, they're still doing their stuff and they're working and they're doing like, and but it feels like from like a higher design level that it's being phoned in. Like I haven't felt like since they've hit like the 3DS, like every game has been, it feels, every main series game is like, here it is, here's in 3D, and here's our new gimmick that's like, we put a little button next to your moves and you hit it and you either get a super mode or a super move. And it seems like that's every single...
I feel... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like X and Y was still good. I feel like
it was good.
They still, like, yes, they were starting the gimmicks at that point, but I feel like they were at least still, caring about the game itself.
Literally what I was about to say. I was about to say X and Y felt like their last real try.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just phoned in.
Well, it's I've said it before, and I'll reiterate. Whatever. I'll
Reiterate?
reiterate. That's the word.
Reiterate, rephrase,
Reliterate.
repeat, restate.
Yeah, but it's like that game feels like it wants to be 3 different games. It wants to either be an MMO, a card battle-ish style game and a Japanese story-based RPG, and they haven't picked which one to do. Like their MMO elements don't really feel kind of worth it. The battles are not designed the balance in that game is effectively non-existent. As you can tell by if you watch the Pokemon competitions, it's whenever Kyogre and Groudon are allowed, they're on every team. Whenever they're not, it's you can see no, it's Landorus, the genie that's like a cat or no, it's on every team. You can tell no, it's not, and the story is non-existent. Sun and Moon has so many cutscenes, but the cutscenes are just I don't care. It's hey, we're gonna watch this cutscene, and it's just it's not even it's nothing.
Let me guess, it's a kid gathering badges or whatever they did in Sun and Moon.
There's some
dealing with an evil team, and ultimately it turns out he has some kind of destined encounter with a legendary beast of old.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. There was some stuff in Sun and Moon that got paved over in Ultra Sun and Moon. So so Sun and Moon spoilers.
Oh, no.
So at the end of where you find out that the Aether team, so there's Team Skull, who's the bad team, and then Team Aether, who's the good team. The spoiler, they're also the bad team, and it turns out their leader, who's the mom of two characters, there's this elements of child abuse with them, and that's why one of them, basically both her kids ran away because she was over controlling and abusive. And there's this element where at the end she goes to the ultimate beast alternate dimensionality and says finally something that's beautiful like me, and she turns into a literal monster, and you're okay, you're starting you can see the game has it felt like it has something to say, or it's the first step of okay, so maybe you're not gonna have the best battling, but what if you just go all in on your story, right? Persona's not the best not the best battle or whatever, but the story was good. Also, the Digimon Cyber Sleuth kind of had the same thing. We're the story was interesting.
I'll let you take a step before that.
Yeah.
When you go into a room, it's look at all my beautiful babies preserved, and there's Pokemon frozen.
Yeah.
Dead. You're uh-oh.
And you can see she looks, she's 40, forever. And she's just you can tell she had a lot of work done and you're just okay, I get, you're trying to say something about preserving and letting stuff evolve and grow, but then your whole franchise is not. And then and the new ones now, it was just an evil Pokemon that controlled her, and that didn't exist. And then you fight the evil one.
Oh, that's awful.
No, it's not that big a deal. We just rolled that one back.
Also, you said something wrong. You said Team Skull was the bad guys. They're a group of street punks.
I love Team Skull.
They are the worst. Team Rocket had a plan. Their job was just
they were just the Mafia, weren't they?
Yeah. No, Team Rocket. Team Rocket was. Jesse and James were just not. They were just. They were literally I don't even think Pikachu's not that rare. They're just kind.
Meowth just wanted to slather the boss in honey. That's all he wanted.
He wanted to see all those bugs lick up all the delicious honey on the boss.
I like the idea of Giovanni getting the measures who?
Yeah, I don't think.
First of all, they're grunts. Why would they be talking to the boss?
Yeah, no. Get out of here.
They're not even wearing the right uniform.
Technically, Meowth, you're way rarer than Pikachu. Honestly, you should be we should keep you. You can make our job so much easier. So much easier. But it's Team Skull's just a bunch of goofs. I like it. It looks like they're doing the same thing with Team Yell.
Yeah.
Where they're just we love this one punk goth girl.
Oh, I love my team very much.
Yeah, we have our vuvuzelas and we're angry. We're hooligan. We're drunken. Everyone's
lady
drunk.
And her army of drunken hoodlum fanboys.
Yeah, but she disowns them. That's the interest. She's no. please, no. And they're just there. It's like, no. Like,
I'm
that's...
excited to watch the new Pokemon game.
I'm excited for the new Pokemon anime.
Yes.
Because it's just been announced as, it's just Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
So Ash might actually win a championship, and it might not be about Ash anymore.
I really hope so.
It might just be those my dream, and I'm setting up my hopes way too high. It's just the Pokemon generation shorts expanded into like a season.
Yeah.
So like here's Red and Blue. It's like 12 episodes. Here's Gold and Silver. It's like 13, 12. It's like you just do every season gets about every game gets
just the JoJo's animation, but for Pokemon.
Yes.
Yep, that's what I want. Get David Production and get them in there. I don't know. Actually, the Pokemon anime looks really good.
Speaking of the Pokemon anime, they actually changed that a whole lot too.
It's
Because guess who Evil Lady is? Oh, she's just a nice, caring mom. She wants to.
well
watch all
that
her
one's.
kids.
I count the anime different because that tone is way like the anime's tone is more goofy, and as a response to Yokai Watch, basically the anime like Yokai Watch in Japan was hitting up Pokemon, so Pokemon swerved hard in the anime and tried to hit back and made it more goofy, which I like how it looks. I really like how the Pokemon anime, like every scene I've seen from like an animated GIF and WebM form is great. It makes me real happy. I love it. But like I don't watch it because I know what every episode of that show is gonna be. Now the manga though, the Pokemon Special manga.
Was that the one with the giant haunter that was just eating people's souls?
No,
every
that
night?
was the other
Yes,
one.
I remember that one.
That was Pokemon
Adventures.
No, Pokemon Adventures is Pokemon Special. Then there's like the Pikachu one, which is the one drawn by the other guy. The big haunter is that one.
Okay.
I just remember them rolling out a big Pokeball to catch it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pokemon Special is the one, if you remember, where it's like red and he starts out with Bulbasaur.
Okay.
And they're kind of more super
Electric
deformed.
Tail of Pikachu.
That's
That was
the
the
Electric
other
Tail of Pikachu's the other one. Pokemon Special, like the Sun and Moon one.
I still gotta check if I have those. They're probably like at my parents' house or my grandma's house.
Those, so if Pokemon can just hit the story equivalent of those, it's great. Because they're still like not like high based, but they're way more interesting. I think there's some quote where like one of the Sukamori or whatever was like, this is what I consider the games to be. Like, this is the tone. The Sun and Moon one's about like a guy who's trying to get a bunch of money because the team Aether, when like his grandfather developed like their base, their kind of floating island. They're a big old island artificial ship. And one of them's like, yeah, kid, I'll give it to you if you can give me $1 million. So the kid's like, I'm going to get $1 million. And he gets it, and he gives the guy, like, a check, and looks at him like, no, you idiot. And he just is just like, what? But you put it's my, I did it. Everyone's like, because he is straight hustling the entire time. He's like doing that. And at the very end, he gives him, goes, I did it. Give me my granddad's island. And the guy goes, no. And then just freaks out. Like, it's just like, no, I did all of this. It's great. It's great.
I have to look for that.
They're funny. It's great. It's good. It's good.
Is
All
there
right.
any like recent animes you guys have been watching?
I've been watching Fire Force.
I have been watching Gundam Wing. So
Yes.
yeah.
That's a good
That's a
anime.
good one.
Yeah, finished Double O. Watching Wing now. Gonna watch Turn A after that.
Yeah, Turn A's good.
All right, so I'm not going to spoil it. If you know the answer, just raise your hand. Nolan, do you know how old Trace Kushanada is? Cody, you know?
Oh man!
Don't say it if you know it.
Yeah.
All right, Nolan, how old do you think Trace Kushanada is?
17.
Older.
18?
24.
Huh. What?
24.
How old are Zex Marquise and Lucrezia Noyne?
Oh, shit. They are...
Remember, these are two veterans of the battlefield. They are training the new recruits in the
Were they
military.
like 20?
They're 19.
They're like teens.
They're
19.
No, they're 18. They're 19 in
Endless Waltz. Yeah.
They're 19 in Endless Waltz. They're 18 in the series.
See, because when I was watching that the first time, I'm like, nah, Zex is like 30. Like Trace is like maybe like slightly younger than Zex, but still like in his mid. He's in his early 30s,
Yeah.
maybe mid. He's around 30 something. Like Mario and Zex Marquis. Mario and Trace Kushanada should be the same age, and that age is like 35.
No, Zex Marquis, 18 years old.
Oh,
This veteran of the battlefield who trains the new recruits, who has fought in more battles than people care to remember.
where?
18.
18. Yeah. Yeah, but
I've been trying to watch the Origins.
I'm Fire Force. I really like it. It's like, I think the two shonens that are going right now that are big, it's Demon Slayer and Fire Force. Fire Force is more tonally what I want, which is goofy actions, but then it'll hit me really hard, like a bunch of goofball characters, but then they get serious, and then it gets kind of like it makes me real emotional because like the stakes are so, and you're like, oh.
That's what you want your
I watched the
shonens to
first
do.
episode I really liked. I just haven't had a chance to go back to it.
I highly recommend it.
Because I've been on something a little bit better. Right
What was
now.
that?
Carol and Tuesday.
Okay, so yeah, that okay. That's really good.
It's really
That
good.
show's like perfection. I think
didn't
me and
think it'd
Drew
be this
called it
good.
perfection. In terms of like music, animation, style, like it's
It knew what it wanted to be, and it did it.
it's perfection. It does everything right.
I like the idea that they pitched it the same way they pitched Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, they probably
It's
did.
like, oh, this is an extension.
They probably did. It's
on
idols.
the Bebop universe.
I think they probably said it's idols and it's about singing and you know it's like American Idol sort of. And they're like, yeah.
All
Take
right.
that. You know what? You tricked us last time, but it worked out. But we believe you this time.
Yeah, and then they trick them again. Oh man, that
it's
that
another-
tournament arc is great. The tournament arc of American Idol and that thing is so good.
I'm like on episode 5, right when they finished their first concert.
Oh yeah.
Thing,
Oh,
and
let
I'm
me
like, oh.
let me tell you, tournament arc, it's real good. Mermaid sisters get robbed. They get robbed. You'll know. You'll know.
Where's the episode where they made their own, where they make the music video? Where,
That's like 3.
okay,
yeah, that one's-
I was gonna ask if you'd
With-
seen that one.
Idea. Yes, I did.
That
was
one's
laughing
really
the entire
strong.
time.
It's real good.
That's what I said. I'm like, I love this. I
Yeah.
love this 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, okay, so that's like the best anime. Well, not the best anime. The best modern anime. It's no Utena. That's the best. That's still the best anime.
I thought you were
year.
saying it was Ghost Sweeper.
Most people Mikami is real fun, but Revolutionary Girl Utena is the best anime.
Like,
It's
Hands
the
down.
best anime. Like straight. Like I can't. It's all on YouTube. You just go to the Noisoiment or whatever. Just search Revolutionary Girl. They have it. It's all subbed, all official. No weird fans translate. It's just all there.
no here clicking.
Nope. It's on YouTube. You just go to the channel. They have all
No
of it. You
dark
click it,
jutsus required.
and you just watch it, and it's the best anime.
That's in my list, but I still have to watch Blue Submarine number 6.
Well, that's short.
Yeah,
but like
but I still need to like. watch
Utena is the best anime.
Utena is like the series that I was aware of it when I was younger, because you'd see like
Oh, you see,
wall
like, ads.
scrolls in the backs of magazines, you'd see some AMVs, and I always thought there was like a lot more to that show than there is. Like I was
Right.
thinking it was like, you know, Tenchi expanded universe in scale.
It's not,
No.
and that's why it's good.
Yeah.
So Utena is great, but I would say it is the best anime after you've seen like X amount of anime. Like once you've seen like about like enough shows, you just go, yep, this is the best one. Before it can be other stuff. Like there's a critical mass you hit, and then you watch Utena, and you're like, that's the best one.
Once you become a seasoned old veteran.
Once your taste has been fully established, and you watch Revolutionary Girl Utena, and then you watch all of it, and you go, yeah, that's the best show.
I've been
He
through
ghost
the
rides
isekai.
the whip. It is so incredible. It's the most incredible thing. Because the thing right before it, you think that's the most tense thing that's ever happened. And then they one-up it, and he ghost rides the whip, and you're like, oh, man. It's incredible. And then another guy tries to ghost ride the whip. Oh, man.
It doesn't work.
No, it's great because it doesn't work. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Student body president.
Oh, he's so strong. And then there's like he's so invincible.
Laying on the piano.
He's shirtless. No, it's like the most intimidating man. So
the rules aren't there to make me powerful. The rules are there to keep me in check.
Yeah, because that's how he convinces one of like his subordinates to duel. He's like, no, we don't need this. And so a guy goes, and his sister walks out of her room like adjusting his shirt, and student body president Toga is sitting there with the shirt off and goes, hey, what's up? And the guy's like, oh, like the most invincible, like it's like Jiren level strong, but just not like in a girl's like romance kind of show, but it's like that level of power. And then
he's too strong.
Oh, you see but then, and I'm not gonna ruin it, there's one that's one level above. You encounter his Jiren, and oh man, it's like you see it and you're like, no, nothing can be that powerful. And then you see like the moves this guy does, and you're just like, oh, he's just like beyond, like you can see like in that level, that genre of show, just unstoppable. And that's kind of the point of Utena, is like you see characters in the wrong show, and they're having to deal with it.
Shonen power levels in a shoujo series.
Basically, you're seeing a bunch of shoujo characters, and they can't. That's why Nanami is my favorite character, because she's like the villain of just a normal style show in a not. So she just starts she breaks down over the course of the show because she can't handle what she's in. She just collapses completely, and every time you see her, she like, you feel like you're like, oh, there's that bully. Like, imagine if Bulk and Skull at the end of like Power Rangers were just a mess. Like, they were just like,
you're just like watching this,
like
these monsters just fight.
Like they were in, like, to relate it, like Evangelion, where you see just Bulk just naked in the bathtub, just miserable. And you're like, what happened to you? And you just feel like in episode 1, you're like, and we'll get those kids. And then you're just like, why am I? I'm a mistake.
I'm worthless.
You're just like, what happened?
The void will not even accept me.
And that's why Utena is the best anime of all time. Because it's so good, and you can't, it works on every level. And everything works, like, it works as a metaphor, it works as for real. Like, oh man. Okay. I don't know if I can go on from there. You got anything else to say, Nolan?
No.
Got anything else to say?
No, I don't guess so.
All I'm saying is you should probably watch Revolution Girl Utena. I'm probably going to edit Drew's part in now.
Hi, welcome to another episode of That's the Thing podcast. This one should be 0.38. And this is the part where I talk about nothing for a while. It should be Friday, the 13th, September. Unlucky for some. And does Kevin even tell you what the date is? I don't think he does. That seems like more prep and planning than he's willing to do for this. But listen, I just stole it because Vinny always does it. And that's honestly where all of my top hosting tips come from. It's just see how Vinny does something. It's probably a good way to do something. I don't keep up with any kind of video game related news. The only reason I knew Deadly Premonition 2 was coming out last week because there's a stream of flood of it on my Twitter feed. So, and of course, Terry Bogard. How can I not keep up and know Terry Bogard is something? So, my week has been mostly watching movies. Yeah, I've watched a grip of movies. I watched Delicatessen. I watched The Tale of Two Sisters. I watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's the last one I hadn't seen. I came to that movie like a lot of people in the recent years with Fury Road. And that's a good movie. But after seeing the other ones, I gotta say it's on the back half of Mad Max's. I definitely think the first Mad Max is my favorite, and I didn't really expect that. I don't know why. I just figured probably that George Miller would polish the formula and have a stronger idea of the series going forwards. And it definitely does get more outlandish. And I do like the outlandishness of the series, don't get me wrong. But that first one, I don't know, it's like a much more personal tale than the later ones. So I think Max is more of a character. He's not really a character in Road Warrior or Fury Road. But in 1 and 3, hey, my favorite 2, he has more character. He's an actual person. Oh well. Thunderdome is fun because Tina Turner's there. That was cool. I kind of already knew about Master Blaster going into it. But whatever. That's Mad Max. Watch them. They're good movies. They're 4. And I think Fury Road might be the first part of a new trilogy. So there might be 2 more. And then if I know Hollywood, as long as they make money, they'll just keep making them. Even if they're not good anymore. We'll just keep cranking them out. Never stopping. Never stopping. Yep. I don't know. I've now also hit the point in this one where I don't really want to do this because I'm doing this solo, but oh well, here we are. Car going through a tunnel. Hope you like that podcast. I can't really control the activities of campus life. I'm trying to, give me a moment podcast, I gotta fix this headphone. I act like that was gonna take a huge amount of time, it's not. But there we go, now it's not like caught under the strap of my backpack. A lot more comfortable for me, hopefully a lot more comfortable for you. Oh, so yeah, okay, so if Kevin doesn't mention the date, then I doubt they talked about those Jason Voorhees movies at all either, which is unfortunate because my brother loves those movies. Which you didn't know because you don't follow us on Twitter. Then me and Driderman, Cody, are brothers. Follow us on Twitter, you should see we both have the same last name. It's a good clue. However, that last name is Edwards, a not uncommon name. But, I don't know. That's how the world works. But yeah, so, I don't know. Friday the 13th. The first one and Jason Takes Manhattan are the good ones. And I do use the term good loosely for the Jason Takes Manhattan. It's at that point where screenwriters and producers knew the elements they wanted, and they just trimmed the fat straight out of those movies. So it is just, all right, here's Jason, here's a murder. Here's Jason, here's a murder. And it just keeps going. It's stupid, and you can tell how people are going to die. But, like I say, it's at that point the series has gotten so stupid and far removed that it's enjoyable in an entirely different sense. Also, it's just like dumb to see Jason walking around New York City. It's just silly. That's not where he's supposed to be. And like, how is he even supposed to get back to Crystal Lake after that? Now, granted, it's not as stupid as Jason X, but that movie's just bad. That movie's just real bad. Don't watch Jason X. Freddy vs. Jason, the other one. I don't know. That one I watched at like such an age where it's like, I have nostalgia for it, even though I know it's bad. I think it's still rated R. I don't know. That was like during the era where like they were trying to like cut R movies to PG-13, and like they really suffered for it. Go watch Good Bad Flicks YouTube video. Sorry, YouTube essay on the matter. And I think it's a good summation. But I think that one's actually R. It's hard to have Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees in a movie and have it not be R. Nigh impossible. We jaywalking. But I'm in the crosswalk. I'm just going when I'm not supposed to. Oh, man. You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up and like you wish you could have gotten up like 3 hours later? That's me like every morning. I think I've come to the realization I need like a good like 10 hours or 11 hours of sleep every night to be comfortable. And that way I can also still justify that I'm not sleeping half my life away. Because that still leaves you 12 to 13 hours for your own self. Sorry, 13 to 14 hours for your own self. Of course, then it gets like a little muddled if you think about like time getting ready and whatever, but that's someone else's problem. Whew. It's also hot. Yeah, I don't know whether to apologize for the quality of this or not. And by the quality, I don't mean audio quality, I mean like material quality. Because this is literally just me walking to the library and you guys getting a stream of consciousness so Kevin can tack it on because he insists I should be in the podcast. And I do appreciate that gesture, but it's also like, I don't know. I'm positive most people listening to this are listening to it because they know Kevin. I doubt anyone's finding this accidentally and being like, oh, what's this about? And even more power to them if that's how they've come across it. And after the main part has ended, they're like, well, let's stick around for this one solo guy talking about nothing. I don't know, if you got ideas for formatting or you got subjects you want to talk about, hit me up. My Twitter's in the description, but also just comment on the video. And I guess I'll actually start looking at comments. I won't reply to comments, but I'll look at them if you have subject material suggestions to start actually informing this podcast segment in some particular way. Even if it's, you guys want to know what I think Kevin's opinions about something would be. Oh, that's a good podcast segment. Think about it. And then the following week, Kevin can confirm or dispel. But that'd mean he'd have to listen to it. We all know that's not going to happen. Well, I'm at the library, so peace out, everybody.
Okay. Yep. All right, we heard from Drew. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Drew.